Okay, then we're going to teach you how you can calibrate the location of the conveyor belt. To do that, usually the first time you boot up, you won't be able to access the station tab. Instead, you have to go to the system and admin and enable the admin mode. So the default password for admin is AUBO, lowercase AUBO. So now you're able to go to station and pick point. So this point is actually where it determines where the conveyor is, and orientation of the conveyor as well as the pick place of the box. You calibrate once, and if you change the product dimension on the same conveyor line, then you do not have to recalibrate this. It's basically if you calibrate once, and then the software will adjust based on your box sizes, will adjust its pick point. All right, so now let's set the pick point and calibrate such that the white table here will be the imaginary conveyor, and the box will stop against this edge and this edge. So this will be the origin of my conveyor. So I'm going to show you how we can calibrate that. So, all right, so I click on set. So now I'm in the actual setting mode. So to do that, I'll use this box. I will use this box for calibration. So I put a box here, and I make sure the box is aligned properly, because in the actual production scenario, the box needs to be aligned at the exact same location. So this face facing here, that face facing here. So now the oh, there's a button at the back you can press and hold to move the robot around. So when you calibrate this, it is important to note that the M8 connector, which is this pin right here, the M8 connector, the direction of this connector should be facing the incoming products. So you all have to make sure of that. So this connector is facing the incoming product. So basically, when you calibrate the point, the orientation, like the rotation of this joint 6, determines orientation of the conveyor. And the direction of this particular connector in the middle here determines where the product is coming from, basically the orientation of the conveyor. So that's important. And also we have to make sure that the edge, so we are not programming the center, the pick location for the box. Instead, we are calibrating the origin of the conveyor. So with that being said, we have to make sure this surface is aligned on this surface, and this surface is aligned on this surface. At the same time, the height is low enough to make sure there is a certain compression of the suction cup, and so that when there's a vacuum, it can pick up the box. So these are the 3 steps we need to do: align this side against this side against this side. Of course, the connector direction that determines the conveyor, and make sure that correct first. And then we had to lower it such that the suction cup needs to be compressed a little bit, not too much, just enough that you think it's enough to pick up the load that you're working with. So now here, there's an auto leveling option. If you press and hold, you can make sure that the end of arm suction cup array is leveled horizontally, and then you can basically fine tune that location and make sure it's calibrated correctly. Okay. It seems like the joint 6 needs a little bit of a adjustment. Okay, that's good. and then I need to lower it. I'll lower it down. Okay. So this will be the point that I'm going to save. So this will be the point I'm going to save, which determines this configuration here. This connector is pointing the incoming products, and this surface is on this surface on the basically the edge, the inner edge of the conveyor. And this side is on the other side of the stopper here. So they'll be flush, and there will be a certain compression of the suction cup, such that if the vacuum is activated, it could pick this up. All right. So now I'm just going to let's go back to the big screen here. Uh, Now I can just click on this, and basically this point will be saved. And actually make sure you give the correct box height for this, because it will calculate basically the origin of the conveyor. So make sure you give the box height correctly when you do this calibration step. And then you don't have to worry about if you change the boxes, if you want to pick a different side. All those parameters are already determined when you create your project. So the software will calculate based on your projects. So you don't have to calibrate once. Then on the same conveyor, you can basically it's adapted to different sizes of boxes, different SKUs, different product lines, basically. All right, then we're gonna run a palletizing and depalletizing application in motion.